What's up guys, it's Mega giving you yet another deck for Link Evolution. Today guys, we're doing a Dragon Link deck. Now, I would like to point out a few things about this deck. First off, Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon is unfortunately banned in this game. Really hurts because they rely on Darkness Metal, because you can simply just play a 1-for-1, summon out the Black Metal Dragon, link it away into Striker Dragon to add boot set to launch, then you can just go into Red Eye's Darkness Metal for a combo extender. However, say because we don't have that, the deck kind of hurts a bit, and also we don't have cards like linkcross, which is actually mandatory for the deck. So between those two cards, yeah, we're kind of struggling a little bit, guys. And of course, we don't have triple tactical talents. If your opponent does try hand trap you, you can just slap that down and draw an extra 2 cards to draw into more combo extenders. Like I say, we don't kind of have all these interactions, but nevertheless, I have tried to make this deck kind of like similar to the TCG, and I've done, and I hope it's. It's all good. If you enjoy this deck, maybe hit that thumbs up or make subscribing, because either one does help out this channel. Now, guys, if you're struggling to make this deck or any deck I've ever shown, check out the card hub. No other tarot cards in this game or not. Tell you where to find it. So any of the campaign jewels, any of the giant mode jewels, or any of the card packs. That is in the description down below. And with that, guys, let's get into the video. Guys, this is a 49 card deck. You might think, whoa, why is that? That's because in the TCG, a lot of Dragon Link decks are like 46 to like 50 cards. So I'm going with that one. Mainly because the deck just has so many combo extenders and starters, you can just keep going and play through interruption. So starting us off is 3 copies of Untitled Dragon. Now the reason I'm running 3 of him is because we don't have Noctivision in this game. If Noctivision was in this game, I'd cut this down to 1 and I'd 3 Noctivision. So unfortunately we have that. So aside to so with Asruta, if you control a rocket monster, which we do running a few rockets, you get special summon out this card from your hand. And also if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a rocket from your deck to your hand as well. So that's kind of sweet, sweet because you can use your Foolish Burial or Dragon Shrine, just send him to the graveyard, and then you off to the races. You get a free monster off that, and you can just go and make your plays. I am using 2 copies of Anester Rocket Dragon. Now the reason I'm running this card is because, again, we need a couple of level 1s so we can go into Herald of the Arclight. And again, because we don't have a link cross and the link cross token to be level 1, we can't do that. And also because we can't have Darkness Metal Dragon, I can't run the Black Metal Dragon, so then I can do a level 1 that way. So aside to run out this, it's still a level 1. We can still use it for synchro summoning into Herald, and because it is a rocket, you can special summon it off a boot set to launch. 2 copies of Ash Blossom because I want to disrupt my opponent, because at the end of the day, you might be going second. If you do get Ash Blossom, you can just shut down whatever your opponent wants to do. Because if they want to add a card from the deck to the hand, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to the grave, you can just simply shut the effect down. Now we are running 1 copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, which does mean we are running the 1 copy of White Dragon Wyvern Buster. So when Collapse Serpent, you simply just banish a light monster, bring out this bad boy. If it goes from the field to the grave, you get to add a White Dragon Wyvern Buster from your deck to your hand. So again, just another combo extender. And also that's the reason why I'm running Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. So you have to banish a grand total of 3 monsters, either being light or dark, from your graveyard, and depending on what you banish, depending on what Levianeer's ability is. So if you banish only light, special summon out a monster from your grave, not a bad effect. If you banish only dark monsters, shuffle a card your opponent has into the deck. Kind of great. I use this a lot, especially with Smoke Grenade, because then you can rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand. But if you decide to use both light and dark, you can draw up to 2 cards on the field, which does come in handy because you can like wipe your opponent's board. Now we are running 2 copies of Destrudo. They don't run this in TCG, but again, I need combo extenders because we don't have access to half the cards half the cards that they have in the TCG. So with Destrudo, guys, if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can simply pay half your life point, summon it out by targeting a level 6 or lower dragon, and then Destrudo's level would decrease depending on what monster you chose. So for instance, if we have a level 4 monster and you use Destrudo's effect, Destrudo will become a level 3 monster. And the best part is, if Destrudo goes from the field to the graveyard, would go from the field to the grave because you use his effect, he goes back to the deck instead. So he's never a deck out, which means you can just keep like with reusing his ability So that's why I decided to run. I decided to run 2 so I can see him a little bit more. But you could easily just cut it down, come down to 1 since he does have that recursion effect. Absolute great if you want to discard him off like Dragon Ravine, or Foolish Burial, or off of a monster we're going to get to in a second. Now we are running that copy of Dragon Buster Destruction Sword because we have got the potential to use Union Carrier and knock your opponent out of the extra deck. Because if this bad boy is equipped to any monster, your opponent can't special summon from the extra deck. In addition, I want to point out, if it is also equipped, you can special summon it. You can special summon it to the field, so it does have like a 2 uses. Like during your opponent's turn, knock them down. During your turn, combo extender. And then we're running that Dragonuity. I can't pronounce this guy. We are running a couple of Dragonuities we'll get to in a second when we get to Romulus, but this is just a tuner so you can go into Halki Fibrax with it. We are running a Magna Rocket Dragon because again I need a couple of rockets, and also you can special it off a Rocket Tracer, it's level 4 so you can go into our Bolo Savage, and also because it is a rocket you can special it off a boot set to launch, and it can just do combo, and this card can start your combos off if you've got a lot of extenders in your hand. Now we've got 1 copy of Omni Dragon Boruto. When this card is absolutely great. It has 2 effects. It has a field effect and it has a graveyard effect. So if it is on field effect if it's special summoned, you discard 1 card, target a monster you control. You can add 1 monster whose type and level is the same as it. So we're going to so 9 times out of 10 you're going to be choosing a dragon. So what you do is you can discard a card. So you could discard Destrudo because obviously you don't care about Destrudo, or you could discard an Asruta so you can trigger off those effects. And then Boruto lets you add a monster will let us add a Dark Dragon from our deck to their hand. So you could add the Wyvern Bust, the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent if you've already got like lights in the graveyard. We could add a Destrudo if you didn't discard a Destrudo or fit. You could add Chaos Dragon Legionnaires so you can start doing off that. You could do many things with this little bad boy. And also if he's in your graveyard, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you get to special summon out this card from your graveyard, which again it would trigger its effect during your opponent's turn. Now we are running 1 Red Rose Dragon. The reason why we're running Red Rose is because of a little Rose Engine with it and a White Rose Dragon. So with Red Rose Dragon, if it's sent to the graveyard as a sync material, you get special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your hand or deck. Please bear in mind, guys, if we do have access to Smoke Grenade, you don't have to go into Viron Cube. You could just go into Red Rose Dragon, and then you can special summon out White Rose from our deck and use it after combo extend. That's the reason why we run it. We're using 2 copies of Rocket Recharger, one of the best rockets, because if a dark monster you control from the extra deck would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then you can special summon a dark monster from your graveyard with a different name. So basically, all our monsters in the graveyard are going to be dark. Absolute great. Great, and also it is a rocket, special summon off a boot set to launch, and off a Rocket Tracer. Speaking of Rocket Tracer, it has a quick effect where you can destroy 1 card on the field to special summon a rocket from your deck. It does lock you into only dark, so you can't go into like Halki Fibrax or like Heretic Spheres if you play Tracer's ability. Please bear that in mind. But you're going to use Tracer to pop your Smoke Grenade to rip a card out your opponent's hand. We are running 3 copies of Starliege. Absolute fantastic card. Absolute great. It is a light monster, so it's great with Collapse Serpent. Its effect is you can send any amount of Dragon monsters from your hand or graveyard to hand or field to the graveyard, and add a Dragon monster whose level is equal to the monsters you just sent. So if, for instance, if we sent a level 4 monster to the grave, we get to add any level 4 monster from our deck to our hand. Absolutely great, because if you sent like a dark monster, you could add the White Dragon, so then you can keep combo extending. If we sent Destrudo, you get to add our Asruta, or we could add Tempest to our hand. You see what I mean? You could send Asruta to the grave, add Destrudo, because then that way you can keep combo extending. Absolute great card. And then we are running 1 copy of Tempest. It is a combo extender. I didn't really want to use it, but I thought, why not? It's a combo extender, we're running it. You can discard, you can discard it and a wind monster to add a dragon monster from our deck to our hand, which is actually nice because we do have a wind in being that dragon annuity if you do draw it. And its other effect is you can banish up to 2 wind or dragon monsters from your hand or graveyard, and special summon this card from your hand or grave. So again, because Tempest can be special summoned from the hand or graveyard, you could simply just use it off of a Dragon Ravine or our Omni Dragon, and then you can literally just resummon that Tempest back and plus from its ability, plus from its summon. So that's why we're using Tempest. We're using that 1 copy of Violent Cube. It is a Garnet because you can summon it off the Halki-Fi Brags. If it's sent from the field to the grave, you get to add an equipped spell from my deck to hand, which 9 times out of 10 could be that Smoke Grenade, because then you use Rocket Tracer to pop the Smoke Grenade to rip an opponent's card out of their hand, and it all stems from Violent Cube. Then we're running 1 copy of White Dragon Wyvern Buster. It's like the opposite of Collapse Serpent. You get to banish a dark monster from your deck, as kind of the better one because you're running a few more darks than lights. Then you get special out this bad boy. And then if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add a Black Dragon Collapse Serpent from my deck to hand. So again, keep combo extending. And then we have White Rose Dragon. So when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Rose Dragon monster from my hand to the graveyard. So say for instance your only monsters in your hand is White Rose Dragon and Red Rose Dragon, and you have a lot of combo extenders like magic cards in your hand. You could simply just play this bad boy to special summon out the summon out the Red Dragon. Then you're off to the races because you can still go into Halki-Fi Brax. And also it has an ability if you control a Dragon tuner such as like Rocket Tracer, like a Rocket Tracer or a Dragon Unity monster, you can special summon out this card from your hand. So it's not a dead card either way. So and then guys, onto some spells. We're running 2 Allure of Darkness. I needed some draw power. Triple Tactical Talents is great, but obviously we don't have it in the game. A lot of our cards are dark, so if you do have to banish a dark monster to draw 2 cards, go for it, because those 2 cards could be combo extenders to extend you off. I am running 1 copy of Boot Set to launch. I might want to run this card up to 2, but for now I'm running 1. It basically lets you special up to 2 rockets from your hand. Realistically, you're going to go first, not second, but if you do go second, if your opponent controls more monsters than you special summon out rocket monsters from your graveyard in defense mode equal to the difference. So if they control 2 and you control none, special summon out 2 rockets from your grave. We are running that 1 copy of Dragon Ravine. It is searchable off Romulus, and you get to add a Dragon Unity monster from your deck to your hand. Realistically, not going to do that. Or you get to send a Dragon monster from your deck to your graveyard, which is the main effect where you're going to use Dragon Ravine. But you have to discard a card in order to use this. This is what I'm saying. You could discard Destrudo or discard, I don't know, Tempest or Asrooter, and then you get to send another one of them to the grave and just keep combo extending. We are playing Dragon Shrine again. Combo extend is like you just keep sending your dragons you want to the graveyard, so you can play their graveyard effect. Dragon Unity Divine Lance is searchable off Romulus. When this card is activated, you basically get to equip our Dragon Unity Pathfinex, or whatever it is, to Romulus, and then because Pathfinex is equipped to a monster, you get special summon it. Doing this makes it so if you just have 2 dragons on the field, they don't have to be tuners. You can go into Romulus, go into Pathfinex, then you can go to Halki-Fi Brax because you have a tuner. Just helps you go into Halki-Fi Brax to get access to Viron Cube or Red Rose Dragon. Then we're using Foolish Burial because again it's another copy of Dragon Shrine, because if you do open up with Foolish Burial and Dragon Shrine, at least you can play both of them. That's why I'm running both. I'm running 2 copies of Living Fossil. You don't need to run this. I just put this in here because it's an equipped card. It's searchable for Viron Cube, and also because it's a combo extender. So for instance, even if I did have that Smoke Grenade and I wanted to go into Viron Cube instead of Red Rose Dragon, I could then search out Living Fossil for a combo extender to extend my plays. That's the main reason why I'm doing it. It's like another copy of Monster Reborn. Like I say, guys, we don't have access to Black Metal Dragon and Darkness Metal, so we need more combo extenders because that's what Red Eyes is. So that's why I'm using Living Fossil. We're using 1 Monster Reborn for another combo extender. Again, just keep reviving our monsters and keep linking off away or synchroing away. We are running 1 copy of 1 for 1. This is much better if you run Black Metal Dragon, because obviously then you get to special summon obviously Black Rose. Red Eyes Darkness Metal off it. But for us, it's still useful because you can send a monster from my hand to the graveyard, for instance, Asaruto or Disrudo, you see what I'm getting at. Then you can expect summon out the Omni Dragon Boruto, and then its effect's going to trigger, letting you discard a card, and then you get to add a dragon from your deck to your hands. You see what I mean? Still very good, so it's still a decent card. Using 3 copies of Quick Launch, it's literally a combo extender because you get special a rocket monster from your deck for free. It's not once per turn, so if you do open up with all 3 of them, play all 3, world your oyster. We are using 1 copy of Smoke Grenade. Smoke Grenade, guys, is near enough going to be banned in the TCG because of rockets. Or because of Dragon Links, really. So, because it's an equipped card, it's searchable off Viron Cube. What its effect is, if it's sent from the field to the graveyard via a card effect, you get to look at your opponent's hand, select 1 card from it, and discard it. Really great because, especially turn 1, you can look at your opponent's hand, think, right, that's very interesting. Right, I want to negate that card, or I want to negate this. So you know what? I'm going to rip that card out of your hand. Really great card because you pop it via Rocket Tracer, or you could pop it via Levianeer, and then you get to see your opponent's hand and get all that knowledge. I'm using Upstart Goblin to draw a card because, for instance, if I do happen to draw, I draw Upstart Goblin before combo extenders, I play Upstart Goblin, I draw another combo extender, great, we're off to the races, let's do this. That's the reason I'm running Upstart Goblin. Now we are running 3 copies of Royal Legacy Guard Dragon because it's another Monster Reborn for the deck. So pretty much we're running like 6 Monster Reborns, absolute great. You can target a level 4 or lower Dragon Monster in your grave, special summon it, and also it has another effect where you can move a dragon on the field to a different zone. So that's great for your Guard Dragon LP and Pisky. And then I'm running 2 copies of Imperm just to disrupt my opponent in case I am going second. So with Imperm, guys, it's like an effect available on steroids because because it can't be called by the grave. The opponent tries because obviously it's not a monster. If your opponent activates a monster effect, just play Imperm, shut it down. If you control no cards, you can play this card from your hand, really great. But if you do decide to set it and your opponent activates a monster effect, any spell or trap in Imperm's column will also have its effect negated. So all in all, fantastic card. Now I am running that 1 copy of Ancient Pixie Dragon. You could literally take this out and put in a different Link monster. The reason I put this in, guys, is because I had a lot of scenarios where I had access to Red Rose and Black Rose or stuff like that, and I was able to go to a level 7 monster, and I was like, right, I need to realistically go into a dragon because of because majority of the time I always had like LP or Pisky, and it needs to. So it's like I had to use a dragon, and because of Rocket Tracer's effect, it locks you into any dark. I decided why not? Ancient Pixie Dragon's a good dark dragon mon. So you could take this out and put in a 2nd copy of Boral Sword if you Boral Low Dragon if you want. So its effect is when a field spell activates its effect, you can draw a card. Really great because obviously we are using field spells and you will use them near enough all the time. And you can target a face-up attack mode monster your opponent controls on the field and destroy it. There has to be a face-up field spell on the field. Obviously, we will have one on the field, so that's why I decided to run Ace Pix Dragon. If anything, guys, take it out and put in a Boral Load if you want. So Boral Load Savage, guys, if it's synchro summoned, you target a Link monster in your grave, equip it to Boral Load, and he will gain half that Link monster's attack point, and will gain a ball counter for each of that monster's Link ratings. And the reason why we're doing this is because not only does it power it up, it also has an Omni Negate. So when your opponent activates a monster spell or trap, you literally you remove one ball counter and negate that effect. Absolute great because 9 times out of 10 you'll be using it off Halky Fibrax, so you'll have 2 Omni Negates. Really great. Then we're using Herald of the Arclight. Again, you're going to go into this either with Red Rose or Viron Cube, and then go into your then rip a card out of your opponent's hand. And it's kind of great because any monster sent from the hand or main deck is sent to the graveyard, so it's banished instead of going to the graveyard. So, for instance, if you did the Smoke Grenade combo, which you do, because obviously you search your Viron Cube. If you choose a monster to rip out your opponent's hand, it's going to be banished. It's not going to go to the graveyard. So even gets them out from even using their graveyard. Really great. And also, when your opponent activates a spell trap or monster effect, you can tribute Herald, negate the effect, and destroy the card. Absolute great because again, it's another Omni Negate. onto some links, guys. I am running one copy of Duelist Dragon. Punches through boards, absolutely great for OTK your opponent. It can't be destroyed in battle. It can target a monster on the field that's in attack mode. Duelist can attack twice, and then if it does attack into a monster, it gains half that monster attack, and they lose half the attack. So overall, fantastic beat stick. We are using Crystalline Halki Fibrax. You can go into this via Roamless, or if you have like Destrudo or Tracer, and then using its effect, you can special summon out Viron Cube, or you can special summon out Red Rose Dragon from your deck, and then you can just go off from there, going into whatever Herald, go into the Herald with, depending on your hand. It's the main reason you use it. Then you're just going to link this card away anyway, so you can go get into the graveyard for your Borrowload Savage. Now we are running Romulus. Romulus, guys, you need 2 dragons or 2 wing beasts. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to be using the two dragons. And when this card is link summoned, you get to add Dragon Ravine, or you get to add our Divine Lance from my deck to the hand. Whichever one you need to do, go for it. If you want to search our card via Dragon Ravine, add that. If you just want to get the tuner on board, get the tuner. Because I say you play Romulus through, like say for instance your hand, I don't know, was I'm trying to think of 2 monsters I can easily play here. Say your cards was Surspray and Wyvern, White Dragon Wyvern Buster. You can link into Romulus. Romulus gets out Divine Lance. Divine Lance lets you get out your tuner. Then you could link away into Romulus. So then you can link away into Crystalline Halki Fibrax. Then you get special out your monster. Because you use Wyvern Buster, you get to then add a Black Dragon. You see what I mean, guys? Romulus is just there to just help you get a 2. It's just to help you go into Crystalline Halki Fibrax if you don't have a 2. If you don't have access to a tuner in your hand. Absolute great. Now we are using one copy of Guard Dragon LP and Guard Dragon Pisty. Both of them have the effect where you can't special summon monsters except dragons. So that's why I have chosen Ancient Pixie Dragon. But by all means, you can take it out and put in another copy of another copy of Borrowload. Now LP and Pisky do both share the same effect where you can only activate their effect where if 2 link monsters are pointing to the same same zone. So, say for instance you've got Romulus that's got an arrow facing this way, and Pisky's facing this way. LP's ability will let you special summon a dragon monster from your deck or hand. Absolute great. And then Pisky lets you summon a monster from your grave or banish. So that's the reason why you run it. That's why you run the World Legacy Guard Dragon to move your zones around if you need. To activate their effects, and they're just great for combo extending off away. Now we are running one Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Absolute great because we are running dragons. It's easy to go into this bad boy. If it's in the extra monster card zone, you can just simply tribute it, bounce one face up card your opponent has on the field back into the hand, and then it has an effect where if it is tribute summoned away, you can special summon any dragon from your deck. But its attack and defense do become 0, but it keeps its effect. So you can play Tracer for combo extending away. Go into absolute. You can go into Azruta Dragon if you want to link it away to combo extend off that. World's your oyster, guys. And because that is a quick effect, you can do it during your opponent's turn. Now I'm using one copy of IP Masquerena because again we don't have access to half the cards out of the TCG. So I was down a few cards in yet your deck. She's a dark monster, so even if you do play Tracer's ability, you can still go into Masquerena. So during either player's main phase, you can link summon using Masquerena, which is actually pretty nice. And any monster that used Masquerena as link material can't be destroyed by card effects. So the main reason you're going to use Masquerena is to go into Nightmare Unicorn. So with Unicorn, guys, if it's link summoned, you can discard one card, target one card in the field, return it into the deck. So doing that, say your opponent activate, I don't know, use up their normal summon, play Masquerena to go into Unicorn, bounce it back into the deck. They've wasted their normal summon, they're down, and they've lost a lot of resources. The main reason to do it. Then we're running a Protector Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. Now, when Halki Fibrax is on the field, it is obviously a machine monster. Protector Whelp lets you use your Halki Fibrax and any other monster to go back into dragons, because then you have a dragon in the extra monster card zone. Then you can use Protector Whelp and any other dragon you have to go into Heretic Spheres. That's why the reason you're going to use Protector Whelp. It does have the effect where you can send your destructed sword card from my deck to the grave, try not to use that effect because obviously you want to have that in the deck for Union Carrier. Now I'm running 2 Striker Dragons because when this bad boy is link summoned, you get to add Boot Sector launch from your deck to your hand. That's the main reason you run it, because obviously Boot Sector then lets you combo extend off your rockets that are in your hand. And then finally Union Carrier because you need 2 monsters with the same type of attribute. Very easy, they're all going to be dragons or they're all going to be darks. Its effect is you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, and equip 1 monster which is the same type of attribute. So a nice little trick is to target Borrowload Savage Dragon and then equip the Dragon Buster to it, because then you have an Omni Gate with Borrowload Savage, and you lock your opponent out of the extra deck. That's the main reason you use Union Carrier. And if it survives the field, if it survives the turn, you can then just keep going again. So now I don't know, Tempest or Absoluter, because then if Borrowload does go to the grave, they go to the grave and you just combo extend off their plays. And that's it for the deck, guys. As I say, I did try to make it as close to TCG as possible because Dragon Link is an absolute powerful deck. But I say, because we are missing a lot of key cards, or because a stupid card is banned, you do have to change the deck around a little bit. But unfortunately, it's what you got to do. So that's what we're doing. And it is actually fun. I'll show you some replays, guys. We have of it, and I do hope you guys enjoy. Again, if you enjoy, hit that thumbs up, but maybe subscribing, because everyone helps out the channel. I shall see you guys in another deck. So wherever you are in the world, take care and see you next time.